Hello, this is Falterfire, and today's video is going to be another Caitan run. I'm just going to do a run with Burning Stuntman v3, which is the version of my usual all-in Caitan aggro deck for this patch, because it occurred to me I have not recorded a run on this patch, and since Caitan has been nerfed a bit since my last video with him, I did want to record another run with this to show it off, because the deck still works, basically, is the point. So, if you haven't seen this deck before, our key goal here is just to be incredibly aggressive and blitz through enemies. So, to make that happen, there are a few key pieces. One of them is mana. We have a lot of mana cards here. The overflows aren't really mana cards. They have mana as their type, but really they're skills that create spells. We have 5 actual mana cards, a Gambler's Focus, 2 Shifting Focuses. Shifting Focus is great because it gives us these buffs while also giving us mana. And yes, it only gives us 1 rank of the buff, but that only matters if there's a turn 2. Strenuous Focus, which is a lot of mana and creates exhaustions. We're going to be creating a lot of exhaustions because we don't care. Because our goal here is to win quickly enough that we don't have to worry about cycling through our deck. You have 1 Runic Study for some card draw in the starting deck. We have spell select. So the key engine here is lots of mana, lots of card draw, lots of high value damage cards. In the card pool, I think after playing with it some, I don't actually want Forbidden Rites. I think Spry Vigor is better for Caitan. Even though we will have fatigue a lot, I think it will be easiest to get to, it'll be fairly easy to find that without having fatigue. I also am considering the Mana Eruption, but I think probably not. Blood Vision is another one where I go back and forth on it. Echoing Bolt, I don't think we loop our deck to make that work, although the fact that Echoing Bolt does just draw a card outright is kind of nice. I think Mana Surge, I go back and forth on. I think maybe I would rather have Mana Eruption, but it's a tricky call. Caitan does have a lot of very, very high value mana cards though, which makes the Mana Surge a little better. We have, so Lust for Blood I was using with the Forbidden Rites to try that combo out, and I don't think I ultimately like it enough to justify continuing to use it. I could try Burn Fatigue again, it's been a while since I've used that. But I still don't quite think I'm sold on it. I think the Mana Eruption is going in. Do I leave the Mana Surge in place? Oh, right, Bouncing Bolt got better. So Bouncing Bolt can be a little tricky to use because you do need enough strikes to go with it. But it can have a very powerful effect. So I think we're going to go with that. I think we're going to cut the Mana Surge. We do want Vindictive Strike. It's still very good. Either Storm is still good. Final Strike is a way to get critical and lethal, which is nice. That's another one that I go back and forth on. As far as mana cards go, Arms Race, obviously. Mana Ritual, obviously. I don't think we can trip Incandescent Focus consistently enough to justify it. We do apply a decent amount of burn, but I don't think we apply quite that much. Tyrannical Focus, we're not going to be able to trip. Secret Cache is another one where I don't know if I like it quite enough. I think I would rather have Weary Concentration, which does have its own potential downsides, but I think it's worth it all the same. Calculated Deception is another one where it's iffy. It does let us draw cards, but it is kind of tricky to fit in a lot of the time. Arcane Strike is another one that goes in and out. Right now we've got Crystal Strike instead, but it's possible that I would rather have the Arcane Strike. Warcry ended up not in the deck. Huh. That's interesting. Because it used to be a purity source, and purity was pretty bad for us. I think we probably do want it now. It's just a question of what we would cut for it. And I say that we want it, but that may not even be true. We may not have space for it. I think Fire Tap is weak enough that I would rather have a Warcry. This is the only deck I have that I don't have Sanctuary in. Actually, I think I went Overthink more than I want Warcry, because I think having access to all that card draw is still good. And we're just going to assume that everything else fits together fine. Sure. Do we want more? Would we take more overflows? We may not, actually. We are going to fit Warcry in. Final answer. Here we go. So we'll take Mana Ritual because it's very, very good. I think Starting Wits is pretty good because it's just an extra card to work with. So there's a trick that I learned from another very, very good Caitan player where you rest to get max mana to begin with, because you're just going to assume that you're not going to need your rests later. This is a very aggressive play that obviously you don't want to make if you aren't confident in your abilities, but I am fairly confident, so none of this should matter, but getting that extra max mana means more starting mana, and more starting mana, because now we have 24 max mana, so we'll start fights with 12 mana, which makes it a lot easier to use stuff like card draw efficiently. Go ahead and shut you down. Let's see, that might kill. It did not, but it got close. But yeah, here just having all that extra mana ensures that we're able to play out everything. We do need more card draw. I like Lacerating Strike a lot though. And the other thing isn't really card draw in a lot of ways. The Battle Ready, because there's Combat Ready and Battle Ready and they're different cards. Battle Ready I think is the one we were offered. And the thing with Battle Ready is that it doesn't sorry, I'm trying to figure out which one I'll play. I think we do play this one first. Yeah, we want to get that kill. I was trying to figure out why we had all those guaranteed crits, and it's because they were, that front one was ambushed because of the thing we played, and then we had played a strenuous focus to get critical. Anyway, I totally forgot what I was saying. I'm sure it was very important. Oh, Battle Ready, because it only draws one card, so that's basically the same as if it hadn't drawn any cards in some ways. Or, sorry, as if it was like the card we played. It does give us Mighty, but we have other ways to get Mighty. Brainstorm, that's perfect. That's exactly what I want to see. That's unfortunate. One of these events was a fight, and the other one, and neither of them gave us an upgrade. Because obviously, we would have loved to have gotten an upgrade. I think we are going to... The early fights are the ones where we're most likely to end up having to take extra turns. So do that. So. Just because until we have enough card draw, we can't guarantee that we will get enough there we go. We can't guarantee that we'll get enough cards to get the kill on turn one. I really like having a Reckless Assault. I think I'm taking this over the Contemplate, although it's a very close choice. Martial Griefs is pretty good. We did actually, it didn't get recorded because Maljitrottle, I don't even know how to pronounce his name, his username, is a user in the Discord who streams sometimes, but doesn't really have a way to record it. And the point is that he did a stream where he was actually able to get nothing but turn one kills with Caitan, just literally never passing the turn. And obviously we are doing quite a bit worse than that. We've had to see turn two quite a few times. Our goal is to eventually stop seeing turn two, but it may take us a little bit to get there. We are now Mighty. Oh, we just have Lethal. I don't know why I'm bothering to even think about it. There we go. I really like Final Strike, I think. Scroll of Ledge with a lot of potential damage. Serrated Cleaver is also potentially a lot of damage, but I think there are enough other weapons that give +1 damage, +1 strike damage, that we're not in a rush to take that one. As far as upgrades go, I really like upgrading one of the card draw options or the spell slash. I think we're going to start by upgrading a spell slash. I think we are going to remove one of the strenuous strikes. I'm just not the hugest fan of them. I think it's worth going through these elites. I would love to have a crushing strike, I think. And so ironically, we're going to open with final strike, because that sets up critical for us. Critical and lethal. And so you can kind of see like the sheer amount of damage that we're getting out thanks to final strike. I think that was a pretty good demonstration of why I want it. Demonic Greed is great. We will eventually need to start taking more mana. But it is absolutely helping us a lot that we have all that extra mana to work with. Critical, guaranteed crits. And the sticky flask is also doing a lot of work. Okay, I think I do like crushing strike here. Oh man, duplicitome. So duplicitome does fair things all the time, forever. We do really need a card draw trinket because otherwise there's nothing we can do to avoid just sometimes having these really, really bad turn ones where we can't really do anything. I say we can't do anything. We're obviously not doing terribly here. Is it worth duplitoming? I think this gives us a decent amount of value here. Did not roll the 50% chance for that to be a kill. Now we take some damage, because yeah. So in the turn one kill every fight thing, one of the big pieces that we had was the first item we had was a lucky, or one of the first items we picked up was lucky die. And having lucky die early is a huge help for smoothing out those fights where you just don't get a good turn one otherwise. Like again here, do I duplicitome? I think so. Targeting that one because this one's just going to be dead anyway. And then this is just going to kill that one outright, which is nice. So we don't quite get the kill on all of them, but that was an okay turn one. We do not have any chance to critical here, but we can if we do that. And by have a chance, I mean we can just win. I think now we do need a mana card. Mana Eruption is great. Because again, that's the other benefit of dumping all those things into max mana, is that we then immediately get a whole lot of mana out of Mana Eruption. I'm going to put a Demonic Greed. I think I am going to cut probably the other Strenuous Strike. It's that or the unupgraded Spell Slash, and I think it is... I think it's the Strenuous Strike I like less. And we're moving on. Give me half a second. Okay. So, step one, we're fighting Emerald Dragon. That's the first thing we needed to check. Well, although it doesn't really matter for Caitan, because we're just going to blitz regardless. So our questions are what cards we care about. I don't think we care about either of these. I think this is the thing that we want. I think we're just going to go through these two because I think drakes have a chance to mess with us. And I would rather not be messed with. Alright. Oh, I should have started with that. It's fine. There we go. Yeah. We don't actually need Warcry at this point because we have other ways to get critical. Enough other ways to get critical, I think. I think we'll take the Crystal Strike, although we might end up cutting it. I think we are now at a point where mana is probably the next thing we want. Okay, I think we have enough damage here to win. Yeah, Relentless Assault is just a lot of damage. I said I wanted more mana. Mystic Ritual, though, it's very, very good. This is better than that. We are now at a risk of blowing ourselves up with the Gambler's Focus, but I think that's a worthwhile trade-off. Okay, I'm really glad that I kept this if I'm going to get to upgrade it. There's an argument there for upgrading the Runic Study instead, but look at all this value. Sure. Alright. I do really need to upgrade this Mana Ritual at some point, I think. That's probably going to be next priority. Let's copy these two to have them. Oh, right. I'm going to have to target you, and I don't want to just spin this on removing shield. Okay. Seems like a good time to do that. I don't love burning. Suppose we may as well do that, because we do want to do that anyway. There we go. Spending way too much time thinking when we just have kills. Okay, Adaptative Spell is great, and I think that's what I want. I do really want a surprise attack at some point, but Adaptative Spell is just such an incredibly powerful and flexible tool. So yeah, at this point, I think the only thing that we really still need is, oh, I should have done that, is a way to, thinking, okay, I can't Duplicitome yet. The only thing we really need, yeah, is a card draw trinket. Get mana. Get mana. Draw cards. Get mana. Deal damage. Get mana. Get the kill. Okay. That was a very, very challenging fight, but we pulled it through. I think we just take the Elemental Strike, because that just is very, very good. We definitely don't want Great Bow. Shieldbot does nothing. None of these do anything. Discard. Adaptative Spell is just the best upgrade, even though, like I said, I do still want to upgrade this Mana Ritual at some point. I think I'm fine with just moving on. I think I like the Crystal Strike enough, especially with the Greaves. Okay, just gonna go Event. Okay. Do we want Ice Shards? I don't think we need it. Let me double check my notes on this one. I'm pretty sure the answer for Silga is that we have to run away. Now let's run away. Okay, yeah. So now we get another upgrade, which is going to go to Mana Ritual to make that a much better card. Okay, we can't go to the Poison Gorgon anyway from here, because that was the thing I was considering. I think we copy those two. we get guaranteed crits, which should do some work for us. I'm kind of worried, but Duplatome was able to get us enough pieces. Don't really want that. Another Demonic Greed is fine. That's pretty nice. Just helps shore up any potential weaknesses, especially if we end up having to do stuff. So the question is, do I want to duplicate the Mystic Ritual? Because it is a good safety net, and also a bad safety net. We won't really have enough, because that would take us to 6 cards in hand, which we couldn't actually play that. I think we're just going to count on finding, yeah, that works. Okay, I think we're gonna go. Question is, what do I play first? I think I want to, because I want to get mana out of this, but I also want to, I want to get mana out of it, but I can't do that unless I play this, but I want to play the, oh no, we got Mighty over here, so that's fine. So that's going to give us a copy of this, which we can use for whatever we need to. And then I think the next thing we do is that. Draw more cards. Okay. That feels good. Do need more mana at some point. But for now it's fine. So the question is, can we kill without needing to draw more cards? Because if we need to draw more cards, that has to happen now. I think we're going to risk drawing cards. Although, looks like maybe we didn't have to. Okay. So yeah, those early fights, a little bit questionable, but once we get rolling, we're rolling. This is actually the one deck where I don't necessarily take Dragon Form because it's a huge mana outlay that we can't necessarily support. I don't think so on any of these. So for the upgrade, it may be one of our mana cards. I wish I could see how much extra mana that gets. I can actually check. 10%, so that's like 2 extra mana. That's not worth it. I think Gambler's Focus is the best upgrade. And then for removals, I don't know that I have anything here I really want to cut. So we're just going to keep moving. Okay. I think we're just going to go up all the events. Maw can potentially be a stumbling block here. Just because Maw has so much health. And we don't have any card draw trinkets, which is annoying. I don't think it'll be too big a deal, but it is worth noting that if we do... Oh, the other thing that can cause us problems is Prowlers with Opportunist. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate Elemental Strike. Or no, I think we're going to duplicate Overthink and Spell Slash. Going to open with this. Is this lethal? Yes, so that's going to happen. We don't have room for that yet. think Hunter's Focus is a little better than Vengeful Will. We don't have ways to set ourselves on fire right now. We'll fight them. They did not want to fight back for some reason. Okay, we can upgrade one of our skills. I think we upgrade the Brainstorm. Demonic Greed is also still a very good upgrade, but I think... Okay, there we go. This is the sort of thing I wanted. I think that's better than the Witty Charm. Purity buff is actually kind of really annoying, because the Purity buff gets in the way of our self debuffs. I think we upgrade the Demonic Greed. I think we're just upgrading our card draw is good. So the question here is, would we rather have Corrupted Font or that other card? Okay, so the other question is, how do we duplicate them? If we play this now, we just can't hold. We don't have enough space in our hand. Maybe we start with this. And then we're going to draw a bunch of cards. So normally, you might think that it's a bad idea to get your Brainstorm first. To get your... Oh, right, we can't get overcharged. I really wanted to get overcharged there. I forgot about the Purity after I spent all that time talking about it. That'll do it. Okay, we do want to get out of spell stance. And this is the problem with not having as many actual spells in the deck. There's more critical. And there is some damage. And there's Leap. Okay. Vindictive Strike is also very good. It got nerfed so that it is only a single big hit, but it is still very good. We are also, I think, a Bouncing Bolt deck at this point. We have a decent number of strikes and a relatively small number of spells, which makes Bouncing Bolt very tempting, but it's very, very hard to pass up Corrupted Font. I think we need Corrupted Font. That's funny, but not actually that useful. This is normally very good, but we don't have any fights left. And it's useless in the final boss. And I like all of our trinkets we have in the final boss. That one doesn't do anything for us. We're going to upgrade... probably the Corrupted Font. Again, I just don't think I want to cut anything. I think I like the cards we've got. We've had reasonably good events since Area 1. We've got a good amount of upgrades here, so... let's see. We're going to pop that first, because we may want to discard a Quick Blast here. Yeah. Gain critical. Question becomes, what do we do to the dome? I think we have to duplicate the Demonic Greed for safety. And the Crystal Strike seems good. How do we avoid overkilling too hard? I think like that. Guess we'll go ahead and do that one just cause. Let's do that and that. And that. You're dead. And boop. Okay, there we go. Just crunching through. Armed race is pretty nice. Sure, Mighty Bath is nice. Okay, how many more? I may go through, this fight has a whole bunch of evades, which is really annoying, but I'm kind of tempted to take the fight anyway to get rid of the purity before Maw, but I don't think the purity is that big of a deal. We're gonna go here. Alright. Duplicate our card draw to be safe. Dropping this is actually kind of annoying because it gives us one that has reduced numbers. Let's do that for value. Let's see, does this kill? Yes. It wasn't guaranteed, but it was close enough that I was willing to risk it. Okay, we are in spell stance. All right. More mana. More vengeance. Not quite lethal on that. Still, not the worst. Alright, and here we go. And now we are almost to the end. I think Blazing Ritual is the pickup. Sure. Alright, we still have 2 rusts that we picked up from various things along the way. From the area 1 and 2 bosses. Okay, I think, so we're definitely doing that. And we're going to save that potentially until after we copied these 2. How do we get enough space in hand? Because this is going to fill up our deck, our hand almost completely. Okay, that works out. Get to being critical. Adaptative spell into Mana Ritual, which is kind of what I was hoping to do. Sticky Flask into Cryptic Ritual. We now have guaranteed crits. Alright. We can get 37x2 out of, I think that's what we're going to do with one of those. I think the other one is we're going to save for now until we figure out exactly what we want to do with it. More powerful is nice. Alright. Let's get even more vengeance. I think that's just going to be mana. Now we are, unfortunately, oh, that's good. Just not quite as good on damage as I would like. Like, we're not really in danger of losing or anything, mind you, but we are now, unfortunately, going to have to draw through a bunch of exhaustion. Yeah. But there you go. Turn 1 win against Maw. That is this deck doing the things that it do. I do plan to make some guides for other characters. I'm either going to make a depth 3, a general like how to manage depth 3 guide, or just a either a depth 3 guide that is just going to be for all characters, or a more specific guide that is for each character, similar to like my Intro to Paladin guide. And if you guys have an opinion one way or the other, let me know in the comments. I realize that this video I didn't say as many things as normally I might have. Just sort of went into Zen mode and did Caitan things. But yeah, that is today's run. And I will see you guys next time. Toodles.